questions. We'll open up front row, middle. Dave.
Ryan, I'm sure there's a lot of things you want to work on during the off week. What are some things that are kind of at the top of your list with your team?
Well, we're kind of in a self-evaluation phase right now on both sides of the ball, schematically, things like that. But then also, individually and as units, we're really taking a hard look to see, what are some things we've done well in these first 6 weeks, and what are some things that we need to improve on. And so the big focus is on self-improvement this week. Each coach is giving tangible things for each of the players to work on. And maybe something that is on the field, it might be something off the field, it might be something academically, something along those lines. But the idea is, what have we done well and what do we need to improve on? And so we're focusing on that this week.
It seems like from some of your comments throughout the year, you guys are really into advanced analytics. Is that accurate? Do you guys really study the advanced analytics of the game and what you're doing?
Yeah, it's a part of it. You can get too jammed up with that because, most good football teams will, show you one thing one week and then do something the next week. That's what I always laugh about. Well, what did they do last week? And then you look at the analytics and you say, we can be sure they're not going to do that this week. So, you don't know. But it's all part of it, and there's certain things for sure that you can find not only by your opponent but also by yourself.
Right next door, Dathan.
I'm just curious, this is one of the things that you're doing for the first time now as a head coach going through an off week. Was there any kind of template that you used for that? Anything that you thought worked in the past, other coaches you had worked under that is how you set this?
This week's a little different because we come back and we're playing on a Friday night, so it's a little bit different. We're going to come back and practice on Sunday, which is something typically you wouldn't do coming off of a bye week, but we will. So it's a little bit different, and we put it together based on what we thought was best for the team.
And what is kind of the balance between wanting to give guys a rest, get them a mental break probably as much as a physical break, but also you're 6-0, you're kind of rolling, you probably want to try to keep an edge. Does that happen during the bye week, or does that resume next week?
Well, there's guys that was a physical game that we played on Saturday night, so guys need to get healthy again. We're a little battered, but that's what happens, 6 weeks in, and after you play a game like we did against Michigan State. But it's all kind of, how you craft it during the week, and the way we're doing it is we're trying to get those guys healthy the best we can and be smart about it. But again, really focusing on enhancing the things that guys are doing well and improving on the things they need to improve on.
Front row, middle. Joey.
You mentioned beginning of the season that as far as defensive game planning, you'd have very little role in that you kind of wanted to empower those guys. Looking back at the first 6 games, has that gone according to that kind of plan?
It has, yeah. Typically after a game, we'll get in there, watch it with the offense. I'll go in there with the defense. We'll go through each position and talk about things that went well, things that didn't go well. I will have watched the game and then go through if there's anything that we see. We'll talk it through, or issues that may have arisen in the game, and talk those things through, what we want to do next week and where we're headed. Usually personnel based. I kind of let those guys do the schematics of it, but there's sometimes we have conversation. But those guys have owned it. They've done a great job.
Why did you kind of go about it that way as a coach?
Well, I think first off, when you're running your side of the ball, you really want to do it your way. And, too many cooks in the kitchen isn't good. So those guys are doing their deal, and then they obviously report to me and whatever they think is best, we'll have a conversation about it, move forward. But then also, being involved with special teams, being involved with the offense, you can only do so many things. And that's why, hired guys like Jeff and Greg and Larry who have such great experience that they could do it.
Second row left. Ari.
Hey, Ryan. Obviously, you understand the importance of recruiting at a high level, and this program is still in a little bit of a transition period as you go through from coach to coach. I was wondering, in next year's class, the state of Ohio has maybe the deepest crop of talent that it's had in a long time just in the state. I was just wondering, in a coach in your position, recruiting very well right now, but to have that base of talent in your home state next year, what can that do for you and in terms of managing this transition?
It's huge because in recruiting for us, our foundation is Ohio for sure, and the Midwest, and then we supplement it with national guys. But when you have so many talented guys in the state of Ohio that are right down the street, it's huge for us. And it's great to have those guys come visit. It's great to have all those guys come visit us on Saturday night, get a feel for what the game day atmosphere was like on Saturday, which was awesome. And it's so many recruits in, and so it's working at a high level right now. And I think there's so many guys in Ohio right now that just want to stay home and be a part of it. So it's going well. Over the course of Urban Meyer's tenure, he took on average about 3 less Ohio kids per class than Jim Tressel did before him.
I know that might not sound like a lot, but over the course of 4 years, it's almost 20% of the roster less than Ohio kids. I was wondering, what's your ideal philosophy in terms of how to manage that when you have that? Do you want more? Did you like the balance of Ohio kids then? And just kind of when you have a class like this, what is that like?
Good question. I just think that you have to just look at who you think, fits your roster at that time, who's good enough to play. Ideally, you'd have as many Ohio guys as you can have. But sometimes it kind of fluctuates based on the talent in that recruiting class, and you do the best you can to go recruit the best at each position that fit here. Because that's another part of what the guys that fit. So, for sure, if somebody is from the state of Ohio, then they're going to have a leg up on anybody else in the country in recruiting because, this is their home state and they grew up being Buckeyes, so that matters.
Right next door, Steven.
Like you talked about, this is the first time you've gone through being in bye week as a head coach, and this is usually a time where a lot of recruiting is done. How do you balance, maintaining those relationships with guys that are already committed within the 2020 class versus trying to get out ahead with the 2021 class as well?
Well, that's why you work so many hours and you have so many people who do a great job within the staff here. There's a lot going on. There was a lot going on Saturday. I don't know the total number we had, but it was a ridiculous amount of people that were here. And I thought Mark and everybody involved in his staff did a great job organizing all that and handling it well. I think recruits and their families understand that on game day they're not going to get as much time face to face with the coaches or anything. They're coming for the atmosphere, and they understand that. And all the feedback we got was that it was a home run.
And right behind him, Dan.
Ryan, you talked about that.